Hey, it's Jordan. I'm here in Seattle. We just finished covering an event here on affordable housing, on the crisis, not just of affordable housing, but essentially of gentrification, homelessness. I'm here with City Councilwoman Kshama Sawant. And tell you the truth, I don't really fanboy that much, but I'm a very big fan of yours. I saw you in speeches in other places, and you're kind of one of the true fighters of not just for economic equality, but for human rights, which I think is important. So we've been covering the growing, I think it's beyond a crisis here, a catastrophe of the tale of two cities. Homelessness is growing rapidly, not just homelessness, but people getting evicted, developers kind of swooping in, sweetheart deals with politicians. Can you kind of talk about from when you got here in 2009 to now? This is not the same city, even that it was before you came, but especially when you came.
Yes, as you said, the crisis of the lack of affordable housing and also the escalating homelessness in Seattle is both similar to what we are seeing in many other cities, all the way from the Bay Area to New York City, but also quite stunning in its scale in Seattle itself, given how much prosperity this city has seen for the billionaire class, for multimillionaires in the last many years, especially since the recovery from the Great Recession, which really was a recovery only for rich people and big corporations, not for the rest of us. But since then, you've seen a dramatic increasing inequality. Obviously, it's economic inequality, but it's disproportionately falling on the shoulders of people of color, the Black and brown communities. And we are here, we had this affordable housing meeting of my committee in a church in the Central District. And the Central District is in many ways the epicenter of the crisis of affordability in Seattle. And the history of the Central District is that it used to be that there was a racist redlining, and those redlining laws, horrendous, absolutely unspeakable laws, but those laws said that Black people could not live anywhere north of this region in Seattle. And so Black communities built their lives here. Working class Black people built their lives here. But now this entire city is becoming hostage to developer profits and greed. And so you see the same Central District that used to be Black and brown, mainly Black and brown district, becoming a really gentrified district where very upper income people are able to afford to live, and many of the Black working class families are getting pushed out. And that's the crux of what we're talking about. And you're right, even since 2009 it has dramatically shifted. Just to give some numbers for your viewers, in Seattle, in the Seattle region, we've seen rents go up by 155% since 1998, so in the last 20 years. It is just stunning. I mean, can you even hold that number in your brain and think of what it could be? And since 2010, in the last 8 years, rents have gone up by 69%. So in other words, what we're seeing is a city that has been the construction crane capital for 3 years running, meaning construction is booming here. There's no shortage of new homes being built, but very little of that is affordable to ordinary people, to even the middle class. And so you see, at the same time that you have double-digit vacancy rates, you see tens of thousands of people getting pushed out, and the city becoming really a playground for the wealthy.
So when they talk about the booming economy, we hear that from Trump. The Democratic Party, for many, many years, they talk about, oh, well, you need to retrain for the jobs of the future. Well, if you have unfettered greed, no rent control, developers basically have the keys to the kingdom, where they could just seize properties. Amazon has essentially, it's almost like an occupying force in Seattle. You have people that say, oh, they're bringing all these jobs, but jobs for who? We were downtown yesterday, and it's very striking. You have gentrified areas with bars and restaurants and shopping districts and just sleeping bags, homeless people, and people just walking past them. And I think what's also striking is a lot of the homeless here work. A lot of the homeless work. There's a lot of young homeless and youth homelessness. So can you kind of talk about, there's this notion that Seattle and cities like it are, I think, in many corporate areas, think it's booming, but it doesn't seem to be booming for anyone but the wealthy.
Right, and I think everything you captured in that comment and question really is goes to the heart of the way the capitalist system works, which is that you can have a booming economy, and yet that booming economy is going to leave behind the vast majority of people to some measure or another, some worse than the others. And so what you see is a construction boom in Seattle, also a jobs boom in some ways, but it mainly is benefiting a small section of society. And it's not only the billionaires that are benefiting. Obviously, they're taking home the lion's share of the wealth, but you do see tech jobs. And yes, absolutely, we want good quality jobs for ordinary people. We want people to excel in maths and sciences and really explore their talents. The problem, and this is the reason I'm a socialist, is that the problem with capitalism is that jobs get created only as a means, only so far as they are a means for ever expanding the profits for a small section at the top. And who are we talking about? Our enemies are not the workers in the tech sector. Our enemies are Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, billionaires like that. In fact, those three billionaires own more wealth than the entire bottom half of the US population. That's the kind of system we're talking about. And so that system is geared to rewarding people who already have immense amounts of wealth. And so Jeff Bezos gets richer every year while the rest of us get poorer every year. So, what you said about developers having the keys to the kingdom, really, I think that's a metaphor for capitalism itself. Capitalism is a productive system, but the only people who have keys to the kingdom are the sliver at the top, and the rest of us have to struggle. And so as a socialist, I would like us to imagine a different kind of society where the incredible wealth and resources and everything in our society is harnessed to make sure that everybody has a decent standard of living. And short of socialism, let me talk about something that we can do in the here and now. You talked about rent control. Absolutely, Seattle needs rent control without loopholes, corporate loopholes. What Seattle also needs is a massive expansion of social housing, which is publicly funded, affordable housing that will remain affordable to everybody at all times. But that has to be funded by taxing big businesses like Amazon and Macy's and so on. But what would that actually be? That would be a massive jobs program. So let us not be beholden to this only that you can only have jobs if you allow Jeff Bezos to make profit hand over fist. No, there are many examples of how we can create jobs publicly, unionized living wage jobs, where it also benefits society.
Hope you enjoyed that last video. Hop on over to statusquo.com where you can sign up for our email list and become a member for as low as $5 to $10 a month. Membership is how we grow. That's statusquo.com/join. And remember, join our email list so we can grow the revolution with you.